So hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show the project demo of a end-to-end CI/CD pipeline that I have built for a Java Spring Boot application, and now I'm going to explain how it works. Let's look into the whole design. So basically there is a GitHub repository in which there is application code, there is Terraform code, and there is Kubernetes manifest files with all the deployment services things written for the application based on their version. And then I also have the ingress and all those things written there. So every single time there is a new push on it, a webhook gets triggered, and then it uh, points to the Jenkins server, which is a EC2 instance deployed on AWS. So what it does, it pulls the code, builds one image, performs some check on it using Trivy, and then it pushes it to the ECR. And then there should be few things, or like what it does is it goes and updates the label of the latest. So there is one namespace latest in which I have deployed the latest image of the application in here. So that latest tag gets updated in the GitHub repository, and the image goes to ECR. So when the image gets updated, argocd picks it up from there and picks up the image from ECR, and then it deploys the application here and deploys the MySQL database here. And the database wala part was fairly tricky, because in order to mount a database you need to create EBR partition something, and you need OIDC. So sorry for that. So you need OIDC something permissions, without which you cannot really create that. So that was fairly challenging. And yeah, so you can create MySQL server, mount it, and then the Java Spring Boot application, it will be a part of the node group, which is managed by the EKS cluster. So coming back to the EKS cluster, it is inside a VPC, and so VPCs are supposed to be private and you can't like really access it from outside. So I have to create a jump server in it, and with the help of a jump server I can basically install and like do all sort of things, manage this EKS cluster. And so that is the complete VPC. And then this thing is connected with a load balancer, and that load balancer allows people to like, basically it is a backend, and so requests are supposed to come here. So load balancer, then it sent the request here, and then there are several ingress files that direct route the request as per the tags, like v1, v2, v3, and then it goes to the application. So this is the rough structure of the application. Now let's look at the pipelines that I have built. So this is the Java service pipeline for the application. So here what's happening is, first it will clean the workspace, check out from Git, Trivy file scan, and then it will build the Docker image, and then it pushes the image to ECR, Trivy image scan, checks out code, and then finally updates the this thing on GitHub. And so this is the first one, and I have so for creation of all these nodes I have created Terraform files. So there is one Terraform file for Jenkins server, and then the another Terraform file for this complete VPC along with the jump server. So this was architecture of Java service. Let's look at the pipeline for EKS cluster as well. So EKS cluster is being created using this pipeline, and so as you can see, the last time I had created it here, and then yeah, I mean this is not part of it, but yeah. So this was the application. Again, let's look at the argocd. So we have argocd here, and it has application for the MySQL, and also it has this web service which is working on here, and there are two pods deployed here. Second one is waiting for some changes, but yeah. So this is the argocd, and now let's look at the code finally. Yep. So as you can see, this is the application. It has a Java Spring Boot application, and along with controller and everything. So here are the routes defined. There is one health route to just know like if the application is running. So let's test this route really quick, and for that what we will do is we'll just api.me latest health. So it's running here, and again I have only deployed the latest tag wala application, so this will work. And we can also like see the other get routes. Let's see the products. It should return an empty JSON because I haven't really added and not in the mood of doing that. But yeah, so this is the application, and then we have K8. So here we have deployment file for the latest one, and it gets updated here. This is the tag which gets updated 73, and the ingress files for managing everyone. So what I have created is I have a separate namespace for all the versions of the application, so that's why it's like that. And there is a separate one for MySQL, so it has these storage class and persistent volume claim service deployment defined, and the EKS cluster and Jenkins Terraform files. Backend, it connects to S3, saves the states there, the data, what kind of data, like the image data and stuff, image ID and all. Main.tf, it has the VPC, security groups, and CIDR blocks, and this thing defined. Also it runs a shell script upon instantiation of the EC2 instance, provider, and the variables. Similarly for the EKS, again it is also saving states, S3, data, EKS, cluster, and the IAM policies. God, this was fairly crazy. Like you have to create IAM policies for these things to connect. Basically, like they will mount, and they need to like create a lot of things. So for that we need IAM policy, and this figuring out this was fairly challenging. And again the jump server, and making sure it works and starts properly. Main.tf for the VPC configuration and the internet access, subnet and all. Node group, provider, and yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. I think I don't have extra thing. I was thinking of deploying Terraform. I was thinking of deploying Prometheus and Grafana for the monitoring of these nodes, but that's for some another day. And yeah, that's pretty much it.